When you spend every day looking at one of your animals, it's really hard to notice any differences or changes in them. But I was looking back at pictures of Nimbus when I first adopted him and brought him home that first day. He was so stressed, he was so scared, his fur was falling out. And I posted the comparison pictures of him the day that I got him and how he looks now. And it wasn't until I compared these two pictures side by side that I could actually see a massive difference in him. Not just in the fact that he has got a bit fluffier and a bit bigger, but just like in his eyes, he's got, this sounds so ridiculous to say, but he's got like life back in his eyes. He's got a sparkle in his eyes that he didn't have, and I was so worried when I first got him. I won't lie, I didn't really touch on this too much online, but I genuinely thought I was not going to have him more than a couple of months because he did look just so old and withdrawn, and now he looks like 10 years younger. He looks so much better. I'm just so happy that he looks so much better, and I'm not taking any of the credit for this. Having the companionship of another chinchilla has done the world of good for him. He's starting to slowly come round. I could not touch him when I first got him. If I did, he was getting very, very shut down and like hunched up. And then after that, when he did get a bit more confident, he was just completely running away, which is fair enough. He's started to take treats and he's just started to let me like tickle behind his ears slightly, so we're getting there. But apparently it can take like 2 years or so to actually bond with a chinchilla, so it's gonna be a slow process and I'm fully committed to trying to be his friend. So I made a very adult purchase the other day. I got an advert for these and they look exactly like Nebula and Nimbus, so I had to buy them. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I had to get them because they look exactly, almost exactly like them. And what I'm thinking is, I don't know if this is going to be really mean to do this, but I might modify this one to have all of the little like holes and chunks taken out of his ear just to make it look exactly like Nimbus. So there we go. I'm almost 30 in a couple of years and I'm still buying plushies because clearly I am a child still, but look how cute they are. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping in this room because it's starting to get hot and I need to turn on the aircon for them, and you won't be able to hear me over this. Wait for it. It's coming. It makes very loud random bangs, which I'm not really sure how to fix. But there we go. I got River one of these like hose pipe button attachment things and she's already so good at it. River, what's this? Hang on then, I'll turn it on. Press it. Press. Two things in life are true for me. The first one, pineapple does not belong on pizza, and the second one is if I see a really good looking cork log, I have to buy it. So I picked up this one. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but doesn't it look like a tiny like mystical house with a door on the front? I was tempted when I first bought this to maybe use it with the mice, but I think given that I want to do orbit setup all over and make it bigger, I might use this and save this for her instead. So I think it's long overdue that I give you an update on Kinder. He is now 2 years and about 2 or 3 months old. And yeah, he's not looking great. I think it's time that I start preparing myself for what's about to come in the next couple of weeks, maybe months. I'm not expecting it to be months at this point. He's a very, very old man. So as you can see, he's got a lot of porphyrin around his eyes. That's not anything to worry about because he's not got any other... Hi, buddy. He's not got any other respiratory symptoms. He's just producing a lot of porphyrin, but As you can probably notice, one, he's quite frail now and he's having trouble holding his food, which to me rings alarm bells that he might have a pituitary tumour, which is honestly my worst nightmare as a rat keeper, because that happened with my first rat, Rolo, and it was really traumatic to watch. But you can see he's kind of knuckling his front feet. He does it with his back feet a little bit now. He's not gripping his food as well. He's very off balance. I fear that's what's happening, so I don't think I'm going to trial the medication with him. Just a personal choice because of how old he is and he's only just started to show symptoms. It's a lot of medication to try and get in them. I've done it before. I think I've done it with maybe 2 rats now, and it's quite traumatic trying to get that much medication in them every single day. It can be quite stressful, so I'm just going to try and make the rest of his life as comfortable and happy as possible. He's still very much kinder though. He's still doing things that I probably would not do if I was an almost 2.5-year-old rat that was starting to get mobility issues. He still throws himself around, flies around everywhere, but as you can see, he's really struggling to kind of keep himself steady, and he's starting to get a bit thin, so gonna have to help him in that aspect. But yeah, he's starting to not look great. Also, I don't know if you can see on the side of him, he's got this like pink thing. He's got this like pink tissue growth that's like doubled. Oh dear. He's got this pink tissue growth on the side of him. It's kind of like a brain texture. I think it might be a tumour. Either it's some sort of like wart. Whatever it is, I'm leaving it alone. I'm not going to try to remove it, obviously, because of his age and everything else he's got going on. I don't think he's gonna outlive that tumour being a problem, to be honest. So yeah, he's got a lot going on, bless him, but he is so resilient. I'm not quite worried about his quality of life just yet. I think it's coming. I'm trying to prepare myself for that because he's my little man. It's so hard with a rat that's always been so energetic and funny. Watching them suddenly start to go downhill like this, but he's still got that personality, so yeah, just trying to make the most of having him as long as possible. But I think it's time. I think it's time, guys, to prepare for the fact that it's probably not going to be months, it's going to be weeks with how this is progressing, and I don't want to think about it, but you're an old man now, aren't you, Bubba? He always looks worse when he's eating because he's concentrating so hard on trying to grip the food, but he's off. He's still trying to do things. He's on a mission. Bye. So I have very kindly been sent this dust bath by Tiny Furry Pet Stop, and they have been loving it. I was sent this to try and see what they think, and it's just the right size for them, especially Nebby, because I didn't realise, but she's quite big compared to Nimbus, so she needs a bit more space to roll around in there. One thing that's really great about this dust bath though is on the top you've got these chew toys, which, as you can see, they have gone to town with these, and once they destroy them, these are actually removable, so you can buy replacement toys to stick on when they chew them, and I think that's really great. So this you could also use if you don't have chinchillas with animals like rats. I think this could also make a really good dig box if you put soil or like cardboard bedding in or something. It's a really great size for that as well, and you can actually watch them through the window. So if you do want to pick anything up from their store, as always, I do have a discount code that will get you 10% off, and that is Emiology10. Okay, so there is something that I'm wanting to put out there to you guys, and it's so funny because I'm usually on the other end of doing this, but I'm really wanting to push my store, my online business further and reach more people. I think it's so amazing that I'm already sending orders all over the world. It's the coolest thing ever, but I'm wanting to reach more communities of pet lovers, so hamsters, gerbils, chinchillas, that kind of thing, and I need your help. So I'm currently looking for a couple of brand reps for Boggbuddies just to help promote the business and post reels and Instagram posts, and you don't have to have thousands and thousands of followers. I'm just looking for small pet accounts on Instagram or TikTok that are posting, you know, relatively high quality content, fun videos, cute pictures of your small pets, just doing normal things, enjoying toys and treats, and in return you'll get a big discount on all of the toys and accessories and items that I sell on my store. There's also a chance when I have new products, which I've got some very exciting things in the works at the moment. I've just had a big delivery of Trixie products all the way from Germany, and in that is some very exciting products that are kind of hard to get in the UK. Multi-chamber hides, other types of hides for hamsters, mice, very cool products that are like German standards of care. So very excited. In the next couple of weeks I'm hoping to have those all launched on the store, but as a brand rep, sometimes there'll be the chance to get sent new releases before new products are released, but big discounts, things like that. I'm just trying to find some brand reps of people that either already love my store or they've not ordered yet but know their pets will love the products. Please head over to my Instagram post, read all of the details about that, and if you're interested in applying and becoming a brand rep, please don't let your number of followers put you off. I'm not looking at numbers, I'm looking at the pictures and the reels and the content you post to hopefully find some brand reps for the store. So yeah, please go and check out that Instagram post and apply if you would like to. I'm really excited to check out your pictures and your reels of your small pets and hopefully pick a couple of people with a variety of different small pets, rats, mice, hamsters, chinchillas, rabbits, whatever it is. I'm really excited to pick a couple of brand reps to help me with my store. So please, if that's something that sounds interesting to you, go and check out that post. So I've had a couple of people ask what room the chinchillas are in, and they're not in the pet room. So this, of course, is a pet room. You've seen it 1,000 times at this point. This is the room that's like directly next to the stairs, and then next door to that is where my office used to be, which obviously I've moved into a bigger external office, and that is at the farm. A lot of people didn't realise that that is where my office is now. So this used to be my office. I used to have all of my like shelving with my products and stuff. Now this is the chinchilla room, which was not intended. So I do still have my old desk here, which is going to go at some point, but the chinchillas are in here for now. Ideally in the future, whenever that is, when I don't have rats anymore, I do want everyone to be in the pet room. But for now, the chinchillas are in this room. So long term, I really just want to make this into a really nice spare bedroom. If someone comes, they can have somewhere to sleep, because currently we don't have anywhere for anyone else to sleep. So I just want this to be like a nice non-animal related room for once, but there's no rush. So yeah, the chinchillas are in here for however long that happens. There you go, you can see the two of them side by side. The pet room, chinchilla room that's supposed to be the spare bedroom, and a very good dog that's not bothering anyone. Good girl. Good job. Also, just in case you were wondering, the pet room does look a little bit different. I'm not sponsored to say this. I was gifted this to share this on Instagram. But we now have a rug in the pet room. So this rug is by Ruggable, and I'm so excited to have one because I always wanted some sort of rug in here, but I also didn't, because I didn't want something that was going to be so hard to clean, because rats do make things kind of disgusting sometimes. So this is so easy to just whip up and put it in the washing machine and clean. I just think it makes it look so much nicer in here, besides the clutter of everything. So yeah, I'm really excited. Just in case, again, not sponsored, just in case you do really like this rug, I will leave the link to this in the description, but I just feel like it makes it look so much cuter in here, and it's so much nicer to sit on the floor with the rats, because before my choices were rock hard floor or rock hard chair, neither of which were particularly great. Show everyone your cute new name tag. It's a little rocket. A little rocket for Hubbles. I bought this shirt for my boyfriend's birthday this week and he's not wearing it, so I have commandeered it and I just think it's the best thing ever. So I just thought I would continue answering some of the questions that I didn't get around to answering in last month's vlog. And the first one is, how long do you plan on owning chinchillas? And do you see yourself getting more chinchillas in the future? I love your rats also. So I fully intend to own at least the 2 chinchillas that I've got for their entire lifespan. By the time Nebula is like an old chinchilla, I'm going to be well into my 40s, which is crazy to think about. So I fully intend to continue owning them for like 10, 20 years. Whether I would get another one or not, I'm not sure. I definitely would not put a third in the cage they've got at the moment. If I were ever to expand that cage, I would consider adding a third one. I wouldn't want to ruin the dynamics they've got, but Nimbus is fairly old, I think, so I would consider adding another younger chinchilla at some point. I would also kind of love to experience having a young, like, baby chinchilla, just to have that experience of bonding with them from a young age. So maybe in like 3-4 years time I might consider getting a third, but right now I'm happy with just the 2 chinchillas I've got right now. What are your plans for when you're just down to 2 rats? I've been asked this a lot over the past couple of months and I've been responding to each person individually, but I should probably address this in a video. My plans for when I get down to just 2 rats when Kinder passes away is to follow my own advice and rehome the last rat or rats, just to make sure they can still have that social company. And I think for my boys it makes more sense to do that whilst they still have each other, because they are very closely bonded. So I have got a friend, she takes great care of her rats. Some of you might know who she is, but I will talk more about that when the time comes. But yeah, she agreed months and months ago to take my last boys, and that has given me a lot of comfort knowing they have somewhere so great to go to. How does it feel to now have a pet rodent that will live for much, much longer than just a couple of years after you own rats for so long? Is it a comforting prospect, or do you find it kind of odd to think about? I find it so comforting. It's one of the reasons that I wanted to switch to owning chinchillas. I'm one of those people that just prefers familiarity, prefers to have people, animals, things that I'm used to, and knowing that hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to have these chinchillas for many, many years to come is a really comforting feeling. It does, on the flip side, feel so strange because I'm not used to it, and yeah, it's going to be a different experience. But as I said earlier, it feels really weird to think that I could have Nebby when I'm like 40 years old, and that just scares me that people get chinchillas when they're like kids, teenagers, not thinking about where they're going to be in like 20 years time. My life is probably going to look pretty similar, so I'm not too worried, but yeah, it does feel strange. Hi, I love your videos and you got me into keeping mice. Anyway, I'm planning on getting a pet millipede. Do you think they make great pets, and if so, any advice would be great. So I think they're okay. I obviously don't keep millipedes anymore for a reason. I just found it very stressful having a pet that you can't really check on. You're not really supposed to like dig around and look for them, and they can disappear for weeks on end into the soil and you don't really know if they're dead or alive or not. And for that aspect, they don't make the best pets because you don't always see them for a lot of the time. Some species of millipedes are a lot more like terrestrial than others. You're going to see them on like the ground level. They don't bury as much. I think the giant African millipedes are a lot better for that, rather than like some of the smaller species that do just disappear in the enclosure. So definitely research each species of them. Some are more shy than others, some make better pets than others, so if you're considering it, then it's probably going to be a good pet for you if you've done your research. But yeah, not my favourite pet that I've had. Are you good, Hubs? Are you thinking about getting pasture animals like goats or chickens? Yes, but not goats. Goats I find very, very irritating. My boyfriend's family that lives on the farm right now, they had 2 pygmy goats and they were absolute menaces. I'm much more of like a sheep alpaca person, and chickens, I don't mind chickens. I'm considering maybe getting chickens, but again, I'm much more of like a duck person. I think ducks are just amazing. So alpacas, ducks, quails, maybe sheep. We don't really have space for anything bigger like cows or donkeys, but definitely interested in starting to get some pasture animals, farm animals. How are you on the floor? Can you turn the light on at night when the rats or mice are awake? Yes, by all means, if you need to turn the light on for whatever reason, if you're going in there or if it's your bedroom, it's not going to affect them to have the lights on here and there. I have had a question before about whether you need to leave the lights on for them overnight or get them like a night light or something. That would like affect their natural cycle. They are naturally crepuscular and they don't need to have big overhead lights on, but turning it on here and there is not going to affect them. Do you still have the scar on your thumb from being bitten? And if you do, can we see it? Yes, this is probably never going to leave me. I've always wanted like a tattoo for rats or mice. I guess Bagel took it upon himself to be like, here is something permanent you can have. It's a pretty ugly scar. I probably should have got it stitched at the time, but yeah, it's there and it's there to stay. Not sure how well you are going to be able to see this, but there you go. There it is. Are you planning on getting any more pets? And if so, are you planning on getting any new species? No, I am so happy with the pets I've got at the moment. They are just enough work for me. I don't need anything else. Funnily enough, I say almost, I wasn't going to do it, but I did have a chance to adopt a second dog this week. My friend runs a dog rescue and she had this dog come in that was one of the breeds I've always wanted, that I probably wouldn't go out of my way to get, and it's quite rare they come into a rescue. So he was a mix of that breed and she was just sending me pictures, and I even went to meet him yesterday. But I'm being sensible, I'm being a sensible adult. I need to make sure I give River the best possible training, life, and I just feel like a second dog would not be a smart choice right now. So I've stepped back and I've been like, I just can't adopt another dog right now. As much as it breaks my heart to do that, but yeah, almost like 5% of me was tempted to adopt this dog because he was just the cutest, but I'm being responsible and I'm not doing it. I don't plan on getting really much else in terms of pets until we move. Don't quote me on that, because the last time I said that is when I ended up getting chinchillas. But yeah, apart from a couple more mice to keep that group going, don't plan on getting anything else anytime soon. Okay, last question is, where are you running to? Is there any way to distinguish the difference between play fighting and actual fighting in rats? Although neither of my boys have physically hurt one another, sometimes their fighting sounds kind of rough and I can't tell if it's normal or not. Yes, so it's all in the body language. If you're new to rats or not familiar with their body language, it can be quite hard to tell, because especially younger rats, they will kind of rough and tumble and box each other and hold each other at arm's length, and it does look quite scary. Just looking at their body language, same with dogs really, if they're kind of taking it in turns, if their body language is very loose and bouncy, if it's not one rat continuously targeting another one over and over and over again, and the other one's not overly squeaking and distressed, looking at their like body language and also physically, if their hair is puffed up, if they're kind of like making themselves look bigger and like sidling over to the other ones, that's more of a negative body language that means they're feeling a bit more serious about it than, you know, if they're bouncing over to each other, wrestling, taking it in turns, that's more playful. They can be quite vocal when they're playing as well, so I will try and find some examples of play fighting and also like more serious fighting and link those in the description or put them on screen somewhere. But yeah, it does look quite different. A lot of people will say if they're not drawing blood then they're fine. Rats can still pester other rats a lot to the point where you might need to intervene, because the rat that's continuously getting bothered by the other rat can still be quite stressed in that situation. So I will link those in the description and hopefully it will help. But yeah, those are all of my questions. Thank you so much for sending them all in. And of course, a big thank you to all of my channel members. I'll put the names of the rat tier on screen. You guys are the best for continuing to support me and the channel and the pets. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. See, bye Hubble. He's petting me on the face. Bye guys.